my little sparklers. Just your friendly neighborhood Christmas fairy wishing you a Merry Christmas in July and welcoming you back to the merriest place on the internet, especially right now, because Christmas in July is basically the exact same thing as normal Christmas. Just let me live in my fantasy world. Today we are decorating this tree. Classic, just red, green, gold, sticky flower, Christmas balls and baubles. Very classic Christmas tree for Christmas in July. Let's get to it. Here's the tree. It's looking a little sad, but we can fix it. Lights. It is pre-lit. This tree's from Walmart. And it has very few lights on it because it was only like 20 or 25 bucks. So, you know, I'm not really that concerned about it because we're going to put a lot on this tree. So I didn't add any extra lights because I'm kind of going for that slightly stuffed glowing from within thing, not really the lights being out and prominent. So I'm not that stressed about it. Just going to finish up floofing it here. This tree is interesting. Floofed. It's floofed is what it is. We're done, except I don't think I love that. We're going to make sure it's balanced because it's very easy to unevenly floof your tree. So I like to constantly step away from it, look at it from a distance and see what's floofed, what's not floofed, what I need to do. And then we're going to start putting stuff on it. Starting with some gold mesh. Funny story about this gold mesh that we will see later. I know what happens, but I don't want to spoil it for you. And then I thought I might want to add some green ribbon over the top of the mesh, and then I changed my mind. And then I thought, how about this tree topper? And then I changed my mind again. So we're just going to move on to the bigger ornaments that I have. Starting with these picks. They're super sparkly, and I love that. And we're doing a red and green with a little gold, super classic, traditional looking tree. Well, I guess except for the sparkly picks coming out, but that's kind of traditional. Glitter's traditional. Glitter is always approved. Anyway, I often like to add picks at the end just so I can kind of stick them in where where I think they should go, but I really wanted to use these. I didn't want to have the tree done and then put picks in and be like, oh, that's too much, never mind, because I just really like these picks a lot. So I put them in towards the beginning. Then I added the green baubles because, well, I start with my biggest ornaments that I have to make sure everybody gets nice placement, and I have fewer green Christmas balls than I do red ones, so I wanted to make sure they got right where I needed them to be. I had to be a little strategic about it. And then I added the red Christmas baubles, and now I'm wiring on these pale gold, super glittery Christmas balls that are a size smaller than the red and green ones, because I like to start with the biggest and work my way to the smallest. And this is where I'm like, we got to use hooks instead of wires. And then I found this. What is that? Like, I don't even know what to do with this. How do I move forward? So I ended up just like pulling off the end hooks as I needed them, the ones at the end of that massive nest of Christmas tree hooks. So anything kind of dangling on the outsides I was able to use. Thankfully, I didn't need that many hooks. I don't like using hooks. I prefer to use wires, but these branches on this style of tree, they're just too fluffy. And I can't wrap around. I have to just like jam a hook in there and hope for the best. Time for some tiny ornaments. Yeah, they're in an egg carton because I'm a genius. So these are my little ornaments. I have a size that goes down from this one that I'm putting on that are also in that egg carton. Using different sized bits and baubles and Christmas balls just adds all kinds of dimension to your tree. Really makes it interesting and fascinating. And yeah, so I'm gonna put on some of these different, oh man, it's so frustrating to get wires around this tree. Anyway, I'm just gonna add these different sizes of Christmas balls on here, keep progressing, just kind of getting littler and littler. I have one size down from here, so I am putting these really glittery red ones on, and then I'm going to put my tiny, tiny red ones on. I'm sad I don't have more green ornaments. You got to be careful with green because it really blends into the tree, like a green on green thing. So if you're decorating a green tree and your green Christmas ornaments are not the right color green, it just doesn't show up. Like, it looks like there's nothing on your tree from a distance, and drives me crazy because green is my favorite color. Not just my favorite Christmas color, my favorite color ever. So yeah, but I'm just gonna move along, putting different baubles and things, trying to balance this as good as I can using all of the red and green ornaments. Well, Christmas balls, not ornaments, just Christmas balls. I really wanted to keep it classic to the Christmas balls and baubles and the very traditional looking with the extra sparkly picks for dimension and drama. I like the drama. All right, I'm just going to keep plugging along. Yeah, that pick was driving me crazy because you see how the one on the left is really like angled up and then the one on the right is kind of like sagging down. It took me a few tries to get that into the tree the way I needed it into the tree. Ugh, yeah, driving me nuts out. But the problem with decorating a 3-foot tree is stuff is designed for a bigger tree, usually. Walmart actually has a lot of stuff for really tiny trees and it's very cool. But the stuff for this tree is designed for, whoop, that's where I ran into the camera. Hope you're okay. Anyway, everything going on this tree except for the really tiny stuff was designed for a full-size tree. So sometimes it's tricky when you have picks with really long sticks like that because they stick out the other end. Just gonna add in a few more Christmas balls and baubles to really fill the tree. And I don't want it overstuffed, but I do want it fully decorated. And now I'm deciding on more picks. I'm gonna start with these green, I think they're fern leaves technically, but they are green and sparkly, so they're a winner. We're gonna put these in. We're gonna readdress these later, don't you worry. Yeah, they're breaking and I'm so sad. They're losing little leafies off them and it bums me out hard because they're so cute. So like foresty and enchanted and glittery and wonderful. So I'm going to try to get these in how I want them. And then I'm moving on to the topper. I've got a bunch of poinsettia flowers that I got from Dollar Tree last year when I did my Dollar Tree Christmas tree. Funnily enough, also on this same tree that I'm decorating now. And I'm just going to tuck those in a big, giant kind of bouquet of poinsettias on the top because nothing says Christmas like poinsettia flowers. I love them, but I always do artificial ones because I have a dog and real ones are highly toxic. So, yeah, I'm going to add these picks towards the back of it so it's just a little larger than life. I like just the poinsettias a lot, like a lot. But I wanted this tree to just be extra. So we're gonna, a good place to make your tree extra is with the topper. That's just a kind of a simpler way to add some drama by making your topper a little larger than life and trying to incorporate kind of extra special things throughout the tree. If you make your topper really dramatic, then it makes the whole tree dramatic. So just a pro tip. I'm full of tips. I got lots of Christmas tree advice. All right, we're just gonna keep moving along with this topper until I get it the way I like. Those are picks meant for inside the tree, but we're making them into this giant thing. They're like a gold kind of feather type thing. They were a bit of a pain because they kept kind of flopping over, and so I had to really adjust them and make sure everybody was there, and it ended up a little precariously placed by the end, but it looked so good that I was like, just no one touch the tree. It's perfect. And then I got to looking at the tree as a whole and decided that the extra fern picks were just a little too pokey and aggressive. So we got rid of them. Which, it happens. My trees are always like a work in progress. I have an idea and then I just kind of go with it and then I adjust as I go along. And so it never looks the way, oh, don't even fall over. Are you okay? You're okay. Oh my gosh. The tree never looks how it starts. Like I start and then it gets redone like 30 times in the process of decorating it. And you just never really know what's going to happen at the end. And I kind of like it that way. It's expressive. It's how I express myself with art. These things are too balanced. That's why I was pointing at them like you're too symmetrical. We gotta fix you. And then after looking at it, I decided I hated the mesh. I just hated it. It had to go. It wasn't working. I finally figured out that the reason it wasn't working way later, after looking at the tree for like 2 weeks, because that's how long I've had this thing up, that I needed 3 rows of the mesh, and that's just tricky because you have less real estate on a 3-foot tree than you do like a 6, 7, 8, 100-foot tree, whatever. So to do 3 rows of mesh would have just been a lot of mesh, which would have been fine, but I wasn't going for overstuffed, I was going for stuffed. And yeah, so the mesh had to go, and as soon as it did, I was like, yeah, okay, now the tree is like looking polished and almost finished, and I'm just gonna add a few more teeny tiny Christmas baubles along with any other finishing touches I feel the tree may need, which could go on for weeks, but I'm going to try to contain myself and just get this done. And I think it's done. Every tree is an adventure. A little bummed I wasn't able to get the gold mesh to work the way I wanted it to, but that's okay because I am finally pleased with how this turned out. I love the just really saturated greens and reds and the super glittery champagne-y gold. Love how the topper turned out, even though it was a major pain and took a lot of work. I really love the ness of it. I hope you have an excellent Christmas in July. If you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, doesn't matter. I just hope that the time is a nice time. Please, please, please be kind to one another. That is how you sparkle on. Have a merry, merry, merry Christmas in July, and until we meet again, sparkle on.